But imagine if you can still capture that user and instead of worrying about taking them to a SRP, take them to a page of, like you said, like, we don't have that car, but here's some other options. And in the meantime, if you want to give us your information, we'll be in touch with you. I just
Hey, welcome everybody. This is Orbee Sessions beta. So this is going to be our first episode of just kind of brainstorming, talking out loud. I'm here with Atul, Orbee CEO. Internally, we talk a lot about what's going on in the industry, the automotive industry, and also digital marketing in general. And something has been going on with the inventory shortages. Actually, it's been going on for a while, but Toyota, Ford, Volkswagen just announced that factories are shutting down again. So I asked him, I was like, so what can we do for our clients? Like, what can our platform do given this situation? So we're just going to brainstorm, talk out loud, get some ideas out there. So what's up, Atul?
Awesome, man. Thanks. This is good. I can't wait to do more of these, but let's get through this first one.
Yep.
Yeah, the chip shortage issue is interesting. I actually feel like a lot of weight is being put on it. It's as if like during the COVID crisis, and companies like Costco ran out of toilet paper. It's like they didn't shut down the store, they didn't stop marketing. There was still a need to get your customers who are looking for you into your store, whether online or physically, and maybe they aren't able to buy what they thought they wanted, but they could find something else. But there's so much opportunity for dealers to use this time, inventory shortage or not, to build their digital footprint with their customer base. So, you were talking about how can Orbee's platform help. So here's kind of an interesting thing. If you're buying media right now, right? And a lot of people do, and they, we have many clients who change their entire media strategy based on these shortages, right? So some dealers pause their new campaigns. Maybe they keep their used campaigns going because they have enough inventory velocity going on with their used cars. But the interesting thing is, like, if you don't keep a little bit of your campaign running, when someone searches like F-150 Lightning, imagine not showing up in there. And that's
Mhm.
actually what's happening. And we see this a lot with these dealers. They're pausing their campaigns because they think that there's no need to get that customer traffic. And then you got consumers searching with, maybe the OEM potentially continuously advertising, and they end up there, but the dealer's not getting access to that data, to those
Yeah.
customers.
They're sort of gambling that there's customers out there that only want those new vehicles. And that may be the case, but you could say, hey, you've shown interest in this new vehicle. Unfortunately, there's some delay with it, but here's other vehicles that are comparable, maybe a year older, but close in the same price range, has the same features. So why not keep pushing those vehicles?
You know what? I think potentially the reason why that's obvious what you just said, right? Like,
Hmm.
if you go into Amazon or anywhere else, they don't kill the entire listing of what they don't have, right? They keep it there. They say it's out of stock and so forth. Now, of course, with VIN number specific concept, like everything that happens in the auto business is very VIN specific, right? You don't go to Home Depot or Best Buy and buy a specific serial number of a refrigerator, right? Just imagine that. That'd be hilarious. But that's how it is in auto. So what happens is, when you think you want to sort of pause these campaigns, you do that because you have nowhere to send the user, right? If you're buying media for an SRP, and you're like, our system does this. Our system pauses campaigns when the SRP is under a certain threshold, like either 0 cars or 2 cars, and it's maybe not worth the $5 click to send the user there. So what happens is, you pause these campaigns because the SRP is going to be light. But imagine if you can still capture that user, and instead of worrying about taking them to a SRP, take them to a page of, like you said, like, we don't have that car, but here's some other options. And in the meantime, if you want to give us your information, we'll be in touch with you. I just don't see enough of that happening. And maybe as a consumer, there could be a lot of this happening with the OEMs, right? Like, for instance, I just got an email today from Ford, actually, because I
Your
moved to
Lightning.
Texas. Yeah, I
Yeah.
moved to
You got to
Texas,
get
and
a
I'm
truck.
exactly, and I'm intrigued by this. I don't know. I think I wanted the amount of rain here. I don't know if I could use a flatbed. I think I'd probably want it enclosed, so maybe a
Mhm.
Lincoln or something like that. But I got an email. It's tough. It's powerful. It's your F-150 Lightning, right? And
Nice.
you know, Atul, you've reserved a game changer from its nearly instantaneous torque to its ability to power your home. By the way, this thing has full asterisks all over it, like disclaimers everywhere. Owning an F-150 will be an experience like no other, right? And there's no updates on my ability to get this thing. I put in the $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is a smart move, of course, by Ford to keep me engaged, maybe get me to
Hmm.
click, kind of keep that consumer journey going.
Yeah.
But if I search for Ford F-150 or really any car of these manufacturers that are having these chip shortage problems, those campaigns should keep running, and that I would definitely recommend dealers keep doing that. And collecting the data and so forth, that's really the key. And I don't know if everyone understands that, but you know that's kind of an area for dealers to really think about.
Hmm. As far as what people might not understand, that's where I want to come in and say, ask the right questions to get them to understand. So when you mean collecting the data, what are you talking about? About a vehicle
Yeah.
that they don't have?
Yeah, exactly. So if
Okay.
a consumer, so first and foremost, like if someone searches for a specific car, right, a new car, whatever, and you don't have the
On
inventory
the
for it,
dealer's site, not just a
or no,
Google
on
search.
Google, let's say on
Okay.
Google, right?
Okay.
So because that's where a big chunk of advertising money is going from this industry straight to Google. So you
Mhm.
search on Google and you're looking for the specific car, right? And in your area, the dealer has paused their campaigns.
Mhm.
So you're not going to end up on their site. Now, what do you lose? What does the dealer lose? Well, if I were to click on that and they kept even a small amount of their campaigns running, right? Use a platform like Orbee's where the price is so low, you could kind of keep the campaigns running instead of a large agency contract, but you keep it running. I click there, I land on the site, there's no inventory for it. I get recommended other cars. I still haven't filled out a form, but my data is collecting, right? And so our system keeps track of anonymous activity
Mhm.
for months, right? And cookies aside, that's a different topic. Honestly, cookies aren't going away until late 2023. So basically, it's accumulating this data on this one device. If I do it on another, it'll collect on that device. And then if by chance I fill out a form,
Okay.
especially if the form pops up or shows embedded in the page at the right time, right? Because this is not about digital retailing anymore. They don't even have the car I'm interested in.
Yeah.
If I fill out a form, now they're able to capture who I am, the history of what I've looked at, and then they could start to do drip marketing and things like that. So when I talk about
Mhm.
data, yeah, data is such a loaded word. I wish there was many more ways to explain it, but yeah, this
Yeah.
is first party traffic data on the site that could be anonymous for a while and then converted to identities, especially if you do that CRM email thing that we were talking about earlier.
Mhm. Gotcha. So we talked about, keeping the campaigns running. Don't completely shut them off just because of the shortage. In order to collect that data, so you can continue to market to them similar vehicles, or when you get the vehicles in stock. Is there anything else we might want to add? Because we are
Well,
trying to keep these sessions short, but I think we could squeeze in something else.
yeah, yeah.
Little bonus
So
content.
when you have, first of all, keep your campaigns running. Now, there is something related to this topic that has always confused me about this industry, right? Especially because we are VIN centric in this industry. So when let's say you're buying a pair of 559s from Amazon, they happen to be out, right? You
Mhm.
don't actually land on a page that says no longer available, or there is the Amazon error, that dog that says uh-oh, and that makes sense for when maybe the product is completely out, like
And
they don't
maybe
even want to
discontinued,
it
like they won't
discontinued.
carry it, yeah.
Yeah, and or Amazon doesn't even want to be part of it, like the batteries that like Anchor or Aki, one of those. So when when you get to a page where the stock is zero, you still see the page. You could still bookmark it. Amazon still knows you're interested in it, right? And so that's a great example of how whether or not the chip shortage is a problem, or when you run out of a certain car, yes, absolutely stop running ads for that specific VIN when you sell it. But it's okay to send residual traffic from email marketing and so forth to pages that point out that this car you were looking at is sold and here are some other options. Too many times, dealers or their websites default you back to an SRP or the homepage when the car is gone. So it's kind
Mhm.
of all related, but that's something that I'd love to dig in as well at some point.
Yeah, that is interesting because we were talking. I just asked the question earlier. Why don't actually? It's some dealers. Like I've seen some dealership sites where they will let me go to a car VDP and it says this car is sold, but some
Hmm.
don't. And I realized like that is super valuable if they do let them look at that car. And obviously, it's going to be explicit that this car is gone. But back to the data, everything about that car, you just now collected more data on that person. Like this person is interested in this car, it's four-wheel drive, it's around this price range. So then you just have more things to send in like marketing messages, like those similar vehicles, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I don't, it doesn't make sense why not to. Now, look, there could be all sorts of legal reasons. There are certain states and rules where you can't make a certain offer, right? If you show a lower price, you have to basically follow through on that. But none of that seems to apply here, right? Like you said, if you explicitly say this car is sold, it'd be
Mhm.
a waste of that data that feeds those profiles. So, yeah, look, this is great stuff. Companies could actually, dealerships should call us, get some interesting opportunities to look at our platform, what it does around these customer profiles, because maybe what dealers aren't doing right now even feeds this idea of profiles and what automated advertising and marketing you can do with that. So I think seeing our platform will start to make sense as to why we're even talking about this.
Yep. And if you've made it this far, with or without getting lost, let us know. Um, that's going to be my job is trying to break down some of this stuff so that it's digestible. People that aren't as expert in digital marketing can get more familiar because it really just makes everybody's lives easier. Like everybody at the dealership should be utilizing some aspect of digital marketing. The service department, um, you know, obviously your agents, but that's pretty much all we have for today. Orbee Sessions Beta V1. Might call it episode one.
V
We'll
no
see.
V.1. I think we got to go.
V.1.
Like developers do that. They keep things in beta way too long. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but this will be released. So
All right, man. Cool. Good stuff. Talk to you later.